In the first two videos, we looked at critical elements to make sure that your slice backhand does not float and instead stays low and skids through the court. These technical elements are absolutely critical for a good slice backhand, and if you haven't watched those two videos, go ahead and click the link above this video and watch those two first. Today we want to talk about a slice strategy that can win you a lot of points, especially at the club level. Now, most of your opponents really do not like to get low. So if you hit a good slice backhand that stays low, that already throws them off and can usually frustrate them. So that's a very important component. But also at the club level, your opponents usually do not like to move forward. A lot of them can move well side to side, but moving forward really is difficult for them. This is usually different at the pro level. At the pro level, they don't have a lot of trouble with moving forward, and they also don't have a lot of trouble with getting low. But at the club level, they don't like to get low and they don't like to move forward. So why not combine these two elements and hit a slice backhand on purpose that stays very low and that is short so that your opponents have to move forward. And this usually results in very weak returns or often even misses right away. But let's take a look at that shot in action.
Here's a situation where I'm going to hit that short slice backhand. I get this ball to my backhand, decide I'm going to slice it, and from here I could do several things. I could slice deep cross court, I could slice down the line, or I could play that short slice, and Lena over there does not really know what's coming. Of course, you need a good slice backhand to do that. Right here you can see that I managed to hit a really good short slice, stays low, surprises Lena, and then results in an easy shot for me to finish the point. Here's another similar situation where I decide to hit that short slice backhand, this time in regular speed. And take a look right here. Here comes that short slice. It stays nice and low and then leaves me with an easy shot to finish the point.
So how do you practice this short slice backhand? We need to make a small adjustment here to the basic technique, and that has to do with the finish position. We talked about the high finish position that we focus on. We talked about that in the second video, really driving through that shot, and that will give the ball a lot of depth. Now we're trying to leave the ball short, so we need to change that a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to stop a little bit lower, and we're also not going to swing through as much. So it's going to look a bit more like this, and this will leave the ball short. Now it's very important that we don't open up the racket face too much. That's still the same thing. Racket face is only slightly open. If we open it up too much, the ball is going to float and sit up. It's not going to be effective. Okay, so instead of driving through all the way and finishing high, we're still going to drive through a bit, but then we finish more here, a little bit lower, and stop. And that will make the ball land short. Now, of course, this is a more advanced movement. I want you to master that high finish and really driving through. I want you to master that first. And once you have that down, then you start working on this more advanced strategy here. So now let me demo that, and we're also going to look at varying between these two shots, the one that's very deep and the one that we leave short, because that can really frustrate your opponents. If you can do that, hit one really deep and then hit one very short that stays low, that's very, very difficult for your opponents to deal with because they have to back up and then move forward. Okay? So I'm going to try to leave it short now, and I'm going to stop a little bit lower here, and I'm also not going to swing through quite as much. So let me give it a try. Okay, and that was pretty good. That's kind of what we want. It stayed low. It bounced just in front of the service line. Let me try that again. Okay, that just hit the net, but that would have been excellent. That's kind of exactly what we're trying for. Okay, just like that. And imagine your opponents coming up to deal with that shot. Most club level players are really going to struggle against that kind of a shot. So much for the short slice strategy. If you can hit this shot effectively, and if you can mix it up with deep slice backhands that also stay low and skid through the court, the slice can really be your secret weapon at the club level because your opponents will hate these shots. In order to have a great slice backhand, however, you need to master two things. Number one is technique, and we looked at 2 of the 9 deadly slice mistakes in the first 2 free videos. So make sure you have the right technique so that your balls stay low and skid through the court. Once you have the technique, however, you also need to know how to use the slice backhand. And I have identified 5 essential slice strategies that every club level player should have in their game. The short slice that we looked at today is one of these 5 strategies. In the next couple of days, you'll receive another video, and in that video, I'll talk more about the other deadly slice mistakes and the other essential slice strategies and how to incorporate them into your game. So make sure you check your inbox for that video.